Anti-MLM has been known to make hateful contents in pretense that they are helping people. They claim to be saving people. They claim to be the messiah of the internet online space. They portray themselves as social knights, the white knights, pretending to be protecting people from scams that they have made it up themselves. Why? It is to earn YouTube money, donation money, affiliate marketing money. They do not care that they spread lies and falsehood in order to earn those money. They will do it. If there is one thing you have to understand about the anti-MLM cult apologists and the hate group extremists, thought reform groups, it is their persistent tenacity in their arguments, even if the actual truth is staring at them point blank in the face. Even if they are faced with facts, figures, documentations, research, mathematical calculations, they have to carry on trying to debunk when they know they are in the wrong. One example is the 5x5x5 that I've talked about in my previous video. Okay, they say that if 5x5x5 recruitment is carried out by the 13th cycle, we will have run out of people in the entire world. So I say it is realistically impossible in real life settings, which is true. But they flip it around and say, well, if it doesn't happen, it proves that it doesn't work. Gotcha! These people are so brainwashed and so self-absorbed in their one-sided thinking to the point where they refuse to admit when they are wrong. Instead of saying, I was wrong, I'm sorry, instead of that, they come up with a completely irrelevant points and say, looky here, you're still wrong. Gotcha! And I pointed out this nonsense with one simple real life scenario. If 5x5x5 actually works and we will have run out of people in the entire world, if that's the case, why on earth does Amway still have annual recognition events? If they run out of people, there should not be any celebrations for people years after years, but they have it. And another argument, if 5x5x5 doesn't happen, it proves that it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, then why on earth does Amway still have annual recognition events? If it doesn't work, you're supposed to fail, but we still have people ranking up years after years and celebrating those new people ranking up years after years. I know I've said these irrefutable points, but you have to understand, these anti-MLM, they don't give up. They can't give up. They will attempt to try and debunk me. They have to. Even when they are absolutely losing, they will have to carry on saying that I'm so deeply brainwashed, I'm so delusional, and that I am desperately trying to defend network marketing, multi-level marketing. Okay, trust me, if they ever decide to do a reaction to my newer videos, that's what they're going to do. And believe me, they will come up with more false equivalents, strawmans, red herring fallacy, many more to try and counter my arguments. You better believe it. Now, going back to the 5x5x5, I use the Amway case studies to debunk both their arguments. You know, if it happens, it's bad. If it doesn't happen, it's also bad. The most likely response I could think of using my brainwashed brains is that they're going to argue that, well, Patrick, Amway only have annual recognition events because of the turnover rates. So you're still not making any points. To which my response will be, what does that have anything to do with anything that I have just said? How does this, whatever you just said, new topic, new debate points, does anything to debunk me and proves that what I say about 5x5x5 arguments being a load of lazy brain dead arguments? I mean, here's the structure of their nonsense logical fallacies, okay? Since you people are unable to comprehend logic, I even made a whiteboard write-up for visual learning, okay? So if you're still arguing with me even after all this, right, I will know that you are either so deeply brainwashed, you do not know what you are doing, you do not know what you are saying, or that you know what you are doing, which is even worse because you are now knowingly promoting and perpetuating extremist thought reform propaganda. So right now, at the top of the small whiteboard, I wrote down the topic that is at hand. This is the topics, right? This is a topic that I want to prove wrong, and for the anti-MLM to prove correct. So let's see how many times the anti-MLM have deviated away from this topic, okay? And apply logical fallacies to debunk me, roast me, put me at my place, and start celebrating. Booyah! Yeah! I'm so ingenuous. this disingenuous, go get him, Marco, go get him, Judy Allison, go get him, Judy Joe. What? Of course, I will also hold myself accountable and point out that if I am engaging in logical fallacies. Okay? So the topic reads, if 5 by 5 by 5 recruiting happens, alright, we will run out of people by the 13th cycle. It is my job to prove that this statement is false, okay? And it is the anti-MLM job to prove that this statement is correct. Since anti-MLM created this topic right here, it is my turn to prove that this is wrong. So here, okay, this is me. I say this, okay? No, because real life scenario, the arrow point here, real life scenario, okay? Prove this to be false. Realistically, this will never happen. Okay? Now, have I addressed the topic that we are discussing? Does this statement, does me saying this related to the topic? Yes. Okay? It relates. Now it's your turn, okay? Your turn. Now, I'm speaking very slowly now so that you can process this very thoroughly. I know you are a slow learner, but we will help you out every step of the way. Don't be scared now, don't be nervous. It's your turn. This is what you say. Well, Patrick, if it doesn't happen, it proves it doesn't work. Does this statement proves that recruiting 5 by 5 by 5 will cause you to run out of people by the 13th cycle? Or are you playing with semantics right now? Wordplay, doing everything you can to bamboozle your way instead of addressing the topics that we are supposed to discuss?
The most common question I get asked is, what do I say to my friend who's in this MLM?
Well, if you take the frame of, hey, I'm a learner, I think I know stuff, but I'm willing to change my mind. Let's talk. Let's explore together. If something is legitimate, it will stand up to scrutiny. And if it isn't, I'll change my mind. I'll come and join you. How do you feel about that? Oh, yeah, me too. Okay, great. Well, let's agree to a reciprocal experience where you're teaching me what was important to you that made you believe that this group had all the answers. We'll watch the video together. We'll go to a meeting together. But the deal is that we meet and we discuss it back and forth. And then it's my turn to share a documentary or a book or whatever, and we'll discuss it, and we'll go back and forth until we figure out what is real and what's true.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in network marketing and you are being haggled by anti-MLM and they want to engage in an educational journey like the video I showed just now, right? If they want to engage you in the educational journey like that, it is good to keep a whiteboard like this and work with him or her on keeping to the topic at hand, okay? And you can work together with your anti-MLM friends on what is real and what is true. You can only do this if your friends is open and accepting of the truth. But if your anti-MLM friends become defensive or start getting emotional or start using triggering words, right? Or phrases or sentences, or they might put an ultimatum on you, like choose me or MLM now. Give them time. If they really are your friend, they will still keep in touch with you. If they are not, if they value anti-MLM movement more than you, then they are willing to enforce the ultimatum, then they are not really your friend. And I understand that anti-MLM will use what I just said as proof that MLM caused me to be brainwashed and cut off ties with families. That's not what I'm doing. Because you have to understand, in any relationships, any friendships, any families, any relationships, there must be equivalence understanding between one another, between people. If they put an ultimatum, when after everything that you have said, after everything that sounds logical and is derived from critical thinking, despite all that happening, after a meaningful conversation, after an educational journey, they still put an ultimatum, when they realize they are losing the debate, you have to understand at this point, they do not care about understanding one another. They do not care, which is the key to any relationships in the first place. And they do not care to understand the truth, which shows they are very deeply brainwashed. They are the one who is brainwashed in the propaganda and the hate propaganda, okay? So at this point, you have to start making decision for your own good. I cannot make decision for you. You have to make the decision on your own, for your own good. So, going back to the topic at hand, after they say that if it does not happen, right? It proves it does not work. I will use another real life real life case example to debunk both points. Okay, both points meaning 5 by 5 by 5 happens, it fails. If 5 by 5 by 5 doesn't happen, it still fails. My argument is that Amway case study proves both of their points are not true, because I have covered this topic. Okay, Amway, which is one of the oldest company, by the way, do have annual recognition that proves they never run out of people. They will never come to a point where in time when they run out of people. And even if it doesn't work, right, there should not be any recognition in the first place. Okay, so that's my argument. Does me citing this reference related to the initial topic thoroughly debunk it? Yes. Does me citing this reference related to the second topic and also thoroughly debunk it as well? Yes. What's next is, I can only think of at the top of my head, Amway have annual recognition because of saturation. What the fuck? Does this prove that 5 by 5 by 5 works? Or does this prove that 5 by 5 by 5 doesn't work? How does it even remotely relate to anything that I have just said? What is your point? What is your proof? But guess what? They will act as if they just said something so intelligent, so smart, so good, and that I am left in the dust. I am left in a burnt, roasted, Do you think these people care about debating you fair and square? You think these people care about the truth? These people care about fighting the righteous side? This is all fake. This is all facade. This is anti-MLM. It's so sad. You should look at my previous anti-MLM horror stories. Watch how they destroy lives, destroy relationships, destroy friendships. I was a victim. I watched a friend who I have treated with such kindness. He turned 180 degree, turns hostile towards me, backstab me, humiliate me in front of other people. This is anti-MLM, okay? This logical fallacy blueprint that these anti-MLM uses, they can use it on any topics. Example, FTC research shows that 99.7% participants lose money in an MLM. I will say that's not true. FTC conducted no such studies. It is made by John M. Taylor, who have no affiliation with FTC in any ways, shapes, or forms. They will still say it is still valid because it's on FTC website. I say no, it is under the FTC comment section. I have seen other people scolding vulgars in other comments. FTC just posts them up. What makes you think FTC will proofread John M. Taylor's documents? They say, well, it's still valid because John M. Taylor is from independent company and a reputable organization called Consumer Awareness Institute. I say, well, they are a bogus company. They are not registered under any business directory. They have no business entity. They have no business office. They have no employee. They don't have any business code or numbering. They are supposed to tackle all consumer frauds because they are called Consumer Awareness Institute. But there is only MLM related materials online if you research it very thoroughly. It's almost as if they have hidden personal agenda against MLM only, and nothing morally good about it. They say, well, it's still valid because John M. Taylor is a PhD. Well, I say I have seen so many PhD people in history committing a more heinous crime. No authorities would bat an eye over some random documents that he just posted up on FTC comment section. They say, well, I still feel it's a scam because nothing you say will change my mind. Do you see how delusional they are? Do you see how brainwashed they are? I mean, they thought they could roast me. They thought. They can literally argue non-stop on any topic. They can talk about Stephen Hassan, and I talk about how Stephen Hassan is a fraud. I have done a video on it. Okay? They can talk about how MLM reps aren't business owners, and I've seen it firsthand. They argue with me non-stop. They can talk about anything else. I can debate with them on any topic, but they will still never give in. They never do. You can be as convincing as you can be, like me. But at the end of the day, they will bamboozle you. They will apply logical fallacy like no tomorrow. They will gaslight you, manipulate you. They will use moral high ground. Or worst case scenario, they will bully you. They are professional at it, and they have been doing it for so many years.
Played these games before! I said I played these games before!